Hi, this is Dave Coursey with California Philippines Bearcats, and I am very excited about today because I have a longtime friend and a longtime coach of the Bearcats, Richard Harmon, with us
That's it.
today, and just to really give us his wisdom and his advice and how he's been successful in life. So we're going to get right into it. Richard, thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate your time. I know how busy you are, so thank you for doing this.
Absolutely. Not a problem, Dave. Anytime that you need me or will always need me, you've given me this opportunity to put myself in this position. So I'm always here for you also.
So tell me, because I tell me about your family, because I know I think you have grandkids, right? Like
I
you're
do. I do.
granddad. So tell me about that, because you're grandpapa and you're like 10 or 12 years younger than me. That's crazy.
I have 6 wonderful grandkids.
That's unbelievable. 6?
6.
Wow.
3 from my daughter, 3 from my son, 4 girls, and 2 boys.
Wow. That is amazing. That is amazing. And you are a young guy. That is really incredible.
It is. I mean, and having them keeps me young also. That's the whole purpose of having, the grandkids, keep you young and go out and do things such as that. The good part is when it's all over, you can still send them home.
Yeah, exactly. That's awesome. So tell me, I've always been fascinated talking to you about your sports career. Growing up in LA, you were a great track star and all that. I've always been intrigued by that, but never got more of the story. So I'd
Right.
like for people to hear like your sports career and where you grew up and that whole thing.
Well, I grew up in Los Angeles, which is now considered to be South Central, which basically back then was just really the West Side. Growing up in an all-black neighborhood, our main thing that really kept us out of trouble was sports. It's either you were into sports or you were into something that you really shouldn't be into. My parents just did not go for that. Street lights came on, you better have your butt inside or
Wow.
in your front yard. So it's different growing up in LA. If you've never grown up in LA, or never been involved in sports, extremely competitive. It's not nice. It's only the strong survive. You get out there and either you're good enough to play with the good guys or you're either sitting on the sideline and waiting for everybody to go home. And then you finally get you a spot to go play on the court. So it's completely different. I don't know if you've ever watched street ball, which I'm sure you have. A lot of talking crap, just, it's hardcore. It's completely different. Growing up playing football versus basketball. As you know, when we were younger, they really didn't have a lot of youth basketball programs.
Right.
You normally didn't get started in youth basketball until almost maybe the middle school, junior high school, for us, which was 7th through the 9th grade. Then you got a chance to really play in high school. So our whole outlook has always been like, most kids want to grow up and play in the NBA. Well, we grew up and wanted to just play for high school because that's all we basically had at that time. So I started playing football at age 6.
Wow.
As a way for my mom to keep us out of trouble and keep us involved in activities. So I pretty much played football all the way up until basically the 9th grade. When I wasn't playing football, of course, we always played the neighborhood basketball pickup, which to me was just as good as playing in a real game. So that was fun too. After going through playing football, I finally got into probably about the 8th grade, where I really got into competitive basketball and my talent really started showing, my height, my ability to jump, just a quick kid growing up, really skinny, but very physical. That kind of took me from playing club ball back in junior high school, which really prepared me to play for high school, which was completely different. I got to high school and of course, during the summertime, I was supposed to go there, still to listen to everybody. I was supposed to go there to play basketball, but summertime, I wound up on the football field for Hell Week. And as a freshman, I had no fear. Just wanted to go out here and play. I've been playing with most of the kids that were on this team. We grew up playing tackle football in front of the school. So it was nothing new to be playing with these kids because you were very familiar with them. So I played football. I crossed a little bit and played basketball too. So we did that along with playing track. So I was 3 letterman for all 3 sports, football, track, and also basketball. That was fun, playing for one of the best high schools that you can possibly play for in basketball. Our football team, we sucked. We were just bad, bad. But it was
Now,
fun.
what high school is that?
It was Crenshaw High School.
Crenshaw High School, right? Okay.
Yeah,
A
it's
legendary
located,
Crenshaw High School. Yeah.
legendary, known
Yeah.
for their basketball.
Yeah.
Many, many years. We've plenty championships, just like the Lakers. Got plenty trophies and banners on the wall. It was a really good school for basketball. Had some great coaches that really cared about us and not just having us on the court playing. I mean, they cared about our families. They cared about the grades that we made in school. We didn't make the proper grades, then you weren't going to play. You know, growing up in that area, there wasn't a lot of kids coming out of high school necessarily getting academic scholarships to go to college. It was really either you're getting a sports scholarship to get in there, or either you're really smart. Those are only 2. And I didn't fall in the smart category, so I had to stay.
Come on. I don't believe that.
I had enough grades to get in school. You know, I wasn't a bad kid. I was anywhere between. You know, I wasn't an A student, but I made B's and C's, high B's. It was enough to have my grade point average up. So it was fun, you know, and just growing up in LA, playing sports is just completely different than any other place that you've grown up, especially if you're growing up in an all-Black neighborhood. Is really physical. And
you did track too. I know. Talk about that, because I know you were very good at track.
Track was good, man. I was, for a tall guy, man, I ran a 4.4, 4.3.
Wow.
It wasn't bad at all.
Wow, 4.3 40?
Yeah, 4.3 40, 4.4.
Wow.
You know, maybe a little wind dated, but I was pretty fast. my main sport probably was
wind dated, but you'll take it.
I'll take it, buddy. I'll take it. My best sports was probably the high jump. I loved high jumping. I was a 7-foot high jumper.
Wow.
Good enough. So, I mean, I enjoyed it. It was track is different in high school. It's not like any other sport. It's kind of a family.
And tell me about your college experience.
College was short, Dave.
Yeah.
Took off, you know, left high school, was good enough to get a scholarship. Had a couple other schools looked at me. Illinois was probably the best that offered me at the time. Went out there, first season, did well. The school was nice. My second year there, as a junior, kind of went downhill after that. Got hurt, couldn't play anymore. Back then, you know, the surgeries weren't like it is now. I broke my ankle, broke the growth bone. The doctors pretty much told me at that time they weren't even sure if I was going to walk correctly again.
Oh, my.
Football was definitely out of the question. If the ankle was ever broke again, I would probably walk with a limp or be on crutches for the rest of my life. So I just decided not to really move any further with that. So my college career was really short due to injury.
Tell me about, so great sports career, cut short by injury. Let's I mean, that was a great story. I knew some of that, but not all of that. So that was great to hear that, because I didn't know a lot of that. So just, and I love the fact that, you know, what you said about growing up in LA and having to just fight your way to be competitive in sports, much different than kids in North County and what they experience. Much different. So transfer to the Bearcats. So how long have you been with the Bearcats now?
Going on my 8th year.
8th year.
The 9th year, but I think it's the 8th year this year.
Yeah. Okay. And tell me back, but was your first coaching experience with me, you, Brian, and I coaching that crazy 8th grade team? Was
It
that your
was.
first?
It
That
was.
was,
That was
yeah,
when I first came into the Bearcat. I mean, I
yeah.
still feel like I was blessed coming into the Bearcats and actually being the assistant coach of the director of the whole program. I mean, it don't get no much better than that. So it was a good opportunity, but yeah, it was
With
that crazy team at the
with
very
one of the
beginning.
craziest teams from a parent standpoint in the history of the club,
It
right?
was. It was.
Right, like crazy, crazy. So yeah, so I remember that. I'll never forget that experience with you and Brian, who both of you went on to be, two of the top coaches in the Bearcats program. And I had nothing to do with it, but Brian running the high school program and you just doing everything. So all teams, all grades, everything. And that's the amazing thing about you is when we'd ask you like, hey, you want to take third grade? You want to take eighth grade? You want to take fifth grade? You're like, I'm up for it. Let's go. Like your relatability to every age is amazing. And so now I want to get into this part because this to me is the most fascinating thing about you is little cats. Okay. So little cats, we started was for like, was it 5 to 9-year-olds, somewhere in there.
Right.
And originally we had Chad do it because I think Chad wanted to do it and he had to get his son and his daughter in it. And, he did a good job. But then he decided he didn't want to do it. We were looking for somebody and, 6 foot, I don't know how tall he is, 6'5" Richard stands up and says, I'll do it. And at first, I'll be honest with him, like, I don't know if this is gonna work. And now you look 7 years later and you are absolutely amazing. Like there's nobody else that we'd ever want to coach little cats except you, to watch those little kids and how you work with them and how the parents respond to you is just flat out amazing. Like it's amazing what you do. So tell me about little cats a little bit and your experience there.
Well, my favorite program out of all the kids that I have coached, I've coached every grade in the Bearcats from third grade all the way up to the eighth grade teams. Anything with that I've coached. But the Little Cats program, it's a liking. It's the way these kids respond. They're like sponges. They want to learn. They're very enthusiastic about trying to learn how to play basketball. Their parents are eager to see them get in there and play. My whole goal was just to, when we first started, trying to go with our motto, just change one life. If you can get in here and just change one life, then that's what you do. So I went in, all the way, 100%. And my whole main focus is just to give these kids an opportunity to play. And a lot of these kids don't get that opportunity because, they only want the best kid. I don't want the best kid. I want the worst kid because normally I've found out that the worst kid normally works the hardest. And 9 times out of 10 normally turns out to be the best kid out of all of them, not the kid that already came in with the ball handling skills. It's completely changed. It went from a small class of maybe having 10 kids per class when we first started to now we're up to 25 kids per class every single season. It's probably the best experience that I've ever had as coaching. It's just the benefits that I get to see the joy that these kids have when they're able to make a basket or do a crossover or dribble behind their back. It's hard to put in words just to see how exciting they are. I love it.
That you're amazing at it. I don't think there's anybody, I don't know anywhere that can do the job or get the results or impact kids' lives like you do with little cats. It is really amazing to watch that and to see how you work. Just goes to show you that I don't know anything. Just you don't know. You don't know. God
You
knows.
never know.
And you just don't know. And it's just been amazing to watch what you've done there. And the second thing I want to talk about is like, not only you a good coach, but I think one of your greatest attributes besides little cats is you're the supreme motivator. Like I remember going back when we're in either in a skills night or we're with parents night and talking to parents, it's just like, okay, Richard, take it, and you just like have this voice that just commands like presence and commands like step it up. And tell me about where that comes from. Because
Well,
I think you're probably the greatest motivator in the club.
high energy, Dave, has always been me. This has been since a little kid. I've always had the biggest mouth on each team I've ever played for. Enthusiasm, energy, fired up. No matter what I do, whether it's riding my bike, riding my one wheel, it's just part of me. Motivating people, lots of energy. It makes things move forward. I don't like seeing things just kind of being stagnated. We can all be stagnated in life if we just sit there and we'll just keep our mouth shut and nothing never ever changes. It's for those that speak up and try to motivate people as leaders that allow us to make changes in our lives, not just our lives, but in everybody's lives. Because that saying, a quiet mouth never gets fed. So I
I like
always
that.
tell the kids, listen, even if you're not the best kid on the court, just be the loudest. People will recognize you. You don't have to be the best three-point shooter, but motivating people is something that you can do anywhere, whether it's on basketball, whether it's in life or your grandkids. I mean, put it this way, it motivates me to see other people motivated. I'm just high energy no matter what I do, no matter what time of the day is. Bad day, good day. This is just Coach Richard. I love speaking. I love talking to people. I took classes to learn to articulate well. And right now at 57, it's all paying off.
Yeah, look, you said your age, and you look like 39. Geez, it's
That's the
amazing.
kids, Jay.
It's
Listen,
amazing. Yeah, all the
it's
grandkids keeping you young.
well, it's part of my image. Kids look at my arms and they look at Coach being tall and slightly healthy. It's a great motivating because when you tell a kid, hey, listen, you should do your push-ups every day. I mean, what do I look like? A bean pole and little bitty arms. Not to say you can't do that. Tell some kid you need to really do your push-ups, and this is what's going to be the results. So my image, it helps me along with being able to motivate other people also.
I love that. So tell me, what is some advice you'd give kids that are in the Bearcats or thinking about joining the Bearcats? Why Bearcats? Why this club versus other clubs?
Well, I mean, I've been with other clubs and I've seen other clubs. It's the family atmosphere that we have. It's the mentality of the directors and owners of this program that has actually set the foundation for us as coaches to follow. So I'm not setting something that's not already been set. I'm just following the foundation of what you guys have already put in line, and I'm following it to the T. So following it to the T is changing lives. So I believe in that. Changing lives is very important. At my age right now, it's time for me to give back. It's time for me to help other people make a difference in their life, because when I die, I want people to go, hey, that guy was a great coach. He was a great motivator. He helped other people. Coming into this club, it's hard to say. It's like no other club. One, you're welcome into the club, whether you are a Kobe Bryant or just a new kid coming off the block. You're going to get the same treatment. We want to see you get better. The club is focused. It has strict guidelines and forms of what we're trying to do. Other than trying to change your life, make things better for you on and off the court, we also want to see you play high school basketball. If that's something that you're interested in, then this club is committed to give you every tool that you have in order to become a great basketball player and a great human outside of the court. We have some of the best coaches from all levels, high school, college, professional. We have professional athletes that are parents that won Super Bowls. I mean, it's a club that's very versatile. We don't believe in, one over here or one over here. We're all one. we make it all happen. We try to find ways to be successful. If you want to be successful, if you want to be a great basketball player, if you want to find out what it's like to be with a family and somebody to care with you, and there's no other place to be but the best club in San Diego, the California Bearcats. It's pretty simple. 17 years of existence. I mean, that speaks for itself.
That's great. That's great. I could listen to you for like another hour. It's so motivating. I like the fact where, and I'll finish with this, is that, the kids, like you were talking about, I like the kids that are not that talented, because I know you believe in that, and you still follow a lot of those kids when they go on to high school. You go watch their games, their freshman
I do.
JV games, the kid, not just the talented kids, but more importantly, you go watch the kids that struggled the most.
I do.
Which is really, because I've heard that and I've seen it, and you talk about it, and I've heard parents talk about it, and it's really cool.
I still follow the kids from the very first team that we started, me and you.
Wow.
Those kids I still follow. They're on my Instagram. They message me every day, on and off. I'm always hearing from some other kids or some other parents. It's nice to get the letters and little notes from parents to, that little attaboy to let me know that I'm still doing good. Sometimes we do need that a little bit ourselves to know that we are doing a good job and making the benefit for others. So yes, I still follow every single one of my kids right now. I have kids that are now getting ready to graduate from college that I am still following.
So I'm gonna finish with this, and I want to thank you so much for not only, and I don't want to cry here, but really for not only for being a part of this club, but for your strong personality. And what I love about you is your strong personality, but you also are such a great supporter of Brenda and of me. And there's so many times in the gym, you're like, you'll come in, you'll be leading. Oh, Dave's here. Dave, take it. It's like, I want to thank you for that, because you have been so supportive of the leadership of this program, but at the same time, you've been a tremendous leader. And Richard, I love you for that. I will always love you for that. And I just consider you a family to me. And I know we don't see each other as much as we should, but to me, you're family. So I want to thank you for that.
You're welcome. It's always been like that. You and Brenda have been tremendous support from day one to me becoming a coach for this program. Now that I'm not just a coach, I'm actually a part of the program. I just came every day to do one thing: work with the kids, give them an opportunity to do something that they enjoy, and just be their support. And it's just turned out to be something extremely wonderful, something a lot larger than me. And all I do is just accept the role and just go with it. My respect for you and Brenda is extremely high. I'll never forget the opportunities that you have given me, and Brenda looks out for me 100%.
Hey, thank you for doing this, Richard. I really appreciate it.
I hope the Bearcat Philippines jumps off just as good as the Bearcats California. We're looking to see your success also, Dave. I know when you put your foot into it, you normally get it done. You're very consistent at doing what you're doing, and you want to make sure it happens the right way. Just like the California Bearcats, we only do things the right way, and I love it.
Well, I appreciate that, and my foot is dug really deep on this one, because I feel like you. I'm older than you. That now's the time more than ever to go out and impact as many lives as we can. So
absolutely,
time is
absolutely.
short. Time is short. So I am.
It is, and this time, and the time that we're in right now, Dave. There's no better time to do it than right now.
Exactly. And I'm dug in so deep, and I really appreciate your support, and definitely going to want to have you down there someday to
I'm always good for a trip.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of collaborations between California Bearcats and the Philippines to collaborate and have coaches down there, because they need to hear from people like you and Grant, Brian, and others. So
we're here, but